We are back here again in our Influencer Speaks series. And today is a special day. As you know, today is Yoga Day, 21st of June, International Yoga Day, in fact. And uh, who better than the celebrity we have today with us for the interviews? Today we have Nidhi Mohan with us, and she is into fitness. She has been Puma ambassador, and she has had some records as well with planking and much more. And you'll be amazed to see what else Nidhi does in her personal life and professional life. And we'll be learning from her how she does her marketing or how she became an influencer and much more about Nidhi. So let me introduce Nidhi to you. Uh, Hi, Nidhi.
Hey,
Hi. We are so glad to have you here, and that too on an International Yoga Day.
yeah, I know. This is my privilege. Thank you so much.
How has been this day to you? What
Well,
did you?
it's. I almost feel like it's my birthday.
Why so?
Um, well, I'm receiving gifts,
Okay.
um, but been working so much all through. So I think.
Okay, cool. So we can start it. Uh, and I was researching about you and found so many interesting things about you. One of the things which I found was you are a chemical engineer and a food scientist. So
Yeah.
we would like to know about how did it start from a chemical engineering background to what you are right now, because India produces so many engineers, and
Yeah.
we all have been. I think I'm also an engineer. Not I think, but I am an engineer. But there are so many people who are engineers as well. So how has been this journey for you till now? How did you start?
Well, I did my chemical engineering and I specialized in food technology. So I started working in the processed food industry. That's where it all started. And the first products that I ever worked on was health drinks for kids.
Mm-hmm.
And gradually I realized that, the full focus of food industry is just taste and shelf life, which
Mm.
was not very right.
Mm.
And then I transitioned into medical. So
Mm.
I was working with another company which used to make products which are used in surgeries and stuff.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, I think I kind of cheesed off with the whole idea of health.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to do something which is preventive rather than, you know, uh, either damaging or damage control. So yeah, that's how the career changed.
Okay. And then so from food to fitness, how did fitness come into the your preferences for food?
I've always been into fitness, so been working out for like a really long time. I was a chubby teenager, and my mother told me that I can't wear Western clothes till I get into shape, and that's where I started working out. So
Uh-huh.
I've always liked it. I never thought it'll be a profession, but over years, I think I realized that that's what makes me happy, and here we are.
Mm-hmm. And when did you start this? When did you start fitness professionally?
When we opened up Nitsan, which was 2009, so yeah, 9 years.
2009. Okay, cool. And what is food scientist like? What does a food scientist do? I've heard about the rocket scientists. Those are the most
Yeah,
popular ones. Who is a food
yeah.
scientist?
So basically, you sit in the lab, you figure out different compositions of food, you do an analysis in terms of the food stability over time, the microbiological aspect, the biochemical aspect of food. So yeah, and mostly tasting and figuring out shelf life. So yeah,
And
that's what mostly do.
does it also involve making new food items or something about new food or something?
Yes, we do a little bit of R&D, but depends. Yeah, R&D also falls into that.
Okay, good.
So this is food in terms of
Uh-huh.
um, the commercial aspect. So we're not talking about something that you make in the kitchen. This
Hmm.
is something you'll be making large scale. So that's where you would need a food scientist because you need to have the background of like engineering to mass production. So yeah, that's what a food scientist does.
So I'm seeing that you have used your education as well professionally. Like it's not a complete dissociation with your educational background, but you have used your chemical background very well with your profession.
Yeah, it's not like a complete different background because I come from a same. It's a kind of super specialization of what I was already doing.
Hmm.
Nutrition, biochemistry, physiology, um, microbiology. That was all part of curriculum as well. So it's not like it's kind of food scientist is something which is in between an engineer and a nutritionist, anyways. So yeah, I think it's not like completely a new field. So I think I was kind of there and
Okay.
yeah, later specialized.
Okay. uh, mm, my next question to you would be how about like when did you think of becoming an influencer, or uh, how did you all start with how did your digital media story start with, and when did you think that you have to take influencer or social media or becoming popular as a serious affair in your marketing?
Um, Actually, I was. I don't know if you guys know Filmy Owl. She's a very popular illustrator in India. So she was the one who initially. Sorry, I just had somebody walking. So so she was the one who initially prompted me to kind of start doing something because she used to work out in the same gym as I used to, and she
Hmm.
was like, "You're good at what you do, so why don't you just start posting?"
Hmm.
So yeah, the first couple of posts happened because of her, and
Hmm.
then the story just went on.
So that was your start to social media.
Yeah, Filmy Owl pushed me to do it,
Who
and
sorry?
yeah. So I think you missed out on that part. So there's a very popular illustrator in India.
No, no, that one
Um,
I got it. That one I got it. The
yeah,
last
yeah.
sentence.
So
Who pushed you?
Filmy Owl.
Oh,
The
this was
Filmy Owl
illustrated.
is yes, yes.
Okay,
She was
I
my
never.
friend, and she just one day she was like, it's not that hard to be on social media. You just have to do one post a
Hmm.
day. You could do that for 7 days, then we're just doing it. So, and I had a private account. She just posted my pictures, and suddenly I had thousands of requests coming,
Hmm.
and it just from there I never looked back. So
Yeah. And I also saw your social media, and I see that your most busy social media is Instagram,
yeah.
and what you are is mostly with Instagram and not even with Twitter or other social media. So has Instagram worked for you really well?
Um, See, it's an easier platform. Twitter is, more to do with words, and I think people prefer something that's very visual, and that's the whole
Hmm.
idea of Instagram.
Hmm.
And I've even noticed that when you put something on which is visually appealing, people want to, you know, get the interaction is much more faster. You get across the message much more faster. So yeah.
So
But I think
visual.
YouTube also is something which is picking up.
Hmm.
Only thing is YouTube production is very hard. Uh,
Hmm.
Producing a YouTube video is a lot of hard work and a lot of time.
Hmm.
Initially, even I was doing 2 videos a week, but it's very exhausting. I realized I couldn't do it. But I
Hmm.
think yeah, YouTube is also one platform which connects you to a larger audience.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's hard to do, and you can't be that you know, on Instagram, I could do 4 posts a day and it's okay because there could be pictures, there could be videos. But
Hmm.
producing a 4 minute video, that's kind of hard work.
So do you have a calendar with you? Like, do you follow a calendar, or your posts are mostly impromptu?
They're mostly impromptu.
Okay, but do you
I
like?
do Thursdays. I've just started doing Puma Track Thursdays.
Okay.
So Thursday, I post a workout which is inspired by a Puma Track trainer.
Mm-hmm.
That's something which I started like 4 weeks back. I'm
Okay.
continuing on that. For
Uh-huh.
YouTube, we do have a calendar,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, for the last 1 month, I don't have an assistant, so that's not happening.
Okay. And because you introduced YouTube, I have a picture. I was
That's
checking
my
your
first
YouTube channel.
YouTube video, and I'm
That's
so ashamed of it.
that's but this was not my intention. But I
Okay.
did see that, and this is what our viewers would like to see, that it's always a humble start. Like I saw your recent video, and then this was your first video, and I could see
Yeah.
the difference. But it's always. Would you like to say something about this video? Like, what was your emotion or motivation when you were making this video, and what did you think about when you just this was your first video? So I know
Yeah.
making your first video is a different emotion altogether. Tell us something about it.
I don't remember having any emotions. I'm clearly not comfortable with camera. Back then, I wasn't.
Really,
Yeah, I wasn't.
you look super
I'm sick
confident
in
on
that
camera.
video. I remember I had a really bad throat infection, but I still went ahead and made it. This
Okay.
was on proteins. I didn't have a mic. I didn't realize that when I'm clicking I'm making a video on a DSLR
Hmm.
within autofocus, that annoying sound comes unless you
Hmm.
use a mic. A lot of
Hmm.
learning. So I mean, there are a lot of times I think about taking that video off, but then I've kept it because hello, first video.
Yeah, yeah. This was super cool. Something happened. Hello. Uh, are you still there, Nidhi? I think I have to check with Nidhi. Sorry, audience. I'm just checking with her. Uh, there might be a connection problem, but let's check. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay, okay. I think the connection got a little damaged. But now we are
Oh,
here back.
okay.
Cool. So this was a nice story about your first video. I always talk about the first videos and the first post because that's the first step towards becoming an influencer. Coming
I'm
back
gonna
to
now
your,
scan through my social media and figure out what is there for
are you
other
going
people
to
to see.
delete? Please don't delete your first videos,
No, I'm not gonna do that. I
huh?
kept it. All these years I kept it, so I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah. Um, my next question to you would be: were there any myths regarding fitness which you started with, and now what you think about fitness professionally or personally, like the initial days and now what you are? Do you think it has changed your philosophies of fitness, or the basic pillars of fitness have changed?
Not a lot, I would say, but yeah, initially I think when everyone starts off with, they come across these typical people who would say you need to cut on your carbs, leave carbs completely, be on protein supplements. So that's how even I started.
Mhm.
Uh, I mean, I started not on them, but I always thought that I won't get there where, all the like when I started working out, of course, there was on Instagram. But
Mhm.
we used to see those females in muscle magazines,
Mhm.
and I always used to think that's never going to happen to me
Okay.
because I'm never taking supplements and all that. But gradually, over time, I think this is a long process. You don't see the change in months; you see it in years. But over years, I realized that you don't need to. There's consistency that's required, and once you have that, I don't think um, there's much of a problem.
Yeah. One very interesting thing about your profile, which I found, was you have always focused on vegan food as well. And there is also a myth which
Yeah.
prevails, which says that non-vegetarian food is equal to muscles, and if you are focusing on bodybuilding, then non-vegetarian food is a must. But
Yeah.
you have focused always on vegan food. How has that been? And did you find difficult to convince people on being vegan? And what do you think is the situation now? Are people open to the idea that veganism can also lead to good physical muscles, or
Um,
whatever the aims are?
See that school of thought will take a while to change, and one thing I don't do is I don't push people to turning vegan. Um, I'm not a vegan nutritionist, so if somebody comes up to me and says they want a diet plan from me, I
Hmm.
don't push them to do a vegan plan. They
Hmm.
are free to choose whatever they want to.
Hmm.
But I do want to set up an example that it's possible doing it with vegans. Um, so yeah, I don't push it on anyone. It's end of the day anyone's personal choice. But
Hmm.
for me, the idea is I don't want to preach it. I want to just set up an example, and if somebody is happy seeing results on me, they might want to give it a try. One thing I also don't like about the whole vegan community is that they're very aggressive. They corner out a person who's not vegan, and that's something that I I discourage, because I don't think you can change anyone by uh, you know pointing fingers at them. So if you want to change someone, the change has to come from within. It's only going to
Right.
come, like parents cannot teach uh, a child. They'll have to set up an example, and the child is going to pick up that thing automatically. So that's my idea about being vegan. And
Right.
it's not that hard. I mean, neither being vegan is hard, nor there's any protein deficiency that happens to somebody who's not a vegan.
But do you think it's a myth or it's a fact that
Absolutely, it is a myth.
it's a myth?
See, the whole supplement industry wants you to believe there's less of protein in your food. How else are they going to do billions of dollars of sale? So I think that's the idea.
While living here in Netherlands, I also see that the West is moving towards the East and the East is moving towards the West. So here, veganism is becoming very popular,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and then like here, people like in India, we have most of us we have been vegetarian at least, not vegan. I would say vegetarian from childhood. Here, people are people were non-vegetarian initially, and many people are taking
yeah.
it as a
Vegan.
choice to become vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have never had a problem traveling and not getting vegan food, because you have vegan menus everywhere. At least Europe is not a problem. So
Yeah.
the whole world is changing, but yeah, India, it's reversing actually. If you look at the statistics, now almost 97 to 98% of Indians are non-vegetarians.
I think we are one of the biggest meat exporting countries as well.
Consumptions, yes, yes,
That's a pretty weird. It's a contradiction from our philosophies,
yeah,
what we stand for. Mm, but what are your opinions about ghee? Because milk products, and of course, when it comes to milk, cow, in the first chapter, the cow is God, and we see cows as gods. So, what are your opinion for ghee? Because ghee, um, people have opinions about it, good opinions about it. What do you think? Ghee, I mean,
um, it's not a bad source of fat, of course, but again, it's like commercially glorified, and it's an animal source of fat. So I'm not a huge fan, but um, the whole idea behind ghee is that it has got fatty acids which are good as well, though it's a saturated fat. But you can find similar profiles in plant-based fats. So
yeah,
I mean, it's not like I would absolutely recommend something.
hmm, I get it.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to show some pictures of your other activities as well, and we would like to
Okay.
know about those. This is aerial yoga, right?
Yeah.
How are you getting introduced to? So this is one aspect of your work as well,
Yeah.
aerial yoga, and then I also saw, of course, acro yoga as well. Tell us, how
Yeah.
did you get introduced to this, and are you doing it professionally as well? Are people taking interest in these kind of activities as well?
Well, aerial, I'm a very, very beginner at it. I don't think professionally I would ever want to do it, not at least for now.
Okay.
I'm an inversion junkie. I like doing anything which is like upside down, because there are lots of benefits that it has. The aerial I tried out because, okay, you found out not a inversion picture. So aerial I tried out because one of my friends was going and trying it. So once I started, then I was like, okay, this is something nice. I could try that again. So whenever there's a new teacher in aerial, then I do try it. Acro, um, so where the place where I was doing aerial, the owner of that place is an acro junkie. So he introduced me to the acro group in Delhi. Started practicing with the groups, but I've been very off and on with them. And I have a fear of heights. I have a fear of trusting another person. All those issues are there. But
Yeah.
um, fortunately, I met a few people who were very calm and they could, calm my fears down. And
Mhm.
it's been about, I think, last November I started doing acro.
Mhm.
Yeah. So no, acro is also a part. Though we jam only on weekends, and I miss most weekends. But yeah,
That was this was one thing which I which really connected with me because I do acro yoga and aerial yoga as well. And with
wow.
acro, when I started, the first thing I told to my friends, because it's also a jamming session, that
Mhm.
it affected me more mentally than physically, because mentally it was all about trust. It was all about trusting the
Yeah.
other person, and we live in such an individualistic world that we think we are self-sufficient. So that trusting was a
No.
very amazing experience.
And it's not the and the best part that I find about acro is that there's so many times that you fall,
Yeah.
and so many times that you fall. I mean, I would be just pulling off a basic move and I'll fall, and uh, at that particular time, it all depends on your partner, because and I'm like nuthead in my thing that if I have fallen doing it, I'm gonna repeat it. But trusting that same person again to
uh,
not
you want to fall
fall the
from the
next time. Yeah.
fall from
Yeah,
other
that's
base.
yeah. No, no, no. I make sure that if I've fallen with the base, I
Uh-huh.
get 100% success on that move with the same base.
Same base.
And yeah, 'cause, I'm like, okay, we don't quit. We don't quit. Let's just give it another try.
Great. So I also think that fitness is all about not all, but a lot about mental strength as well. When you are about to quit, and then beyond that point lies the sweetness of getting fit. What do you have to say about that? Is it mental or it is more physical?
Um, Of course, I think our mind is designed to protect us. So even when you're not just acro and not just aerial, because those are apparently dangerous things, and even if you're doing weight training, if in my head I'm comfortable with 50 kgs, I would not want to go 60,
Mhm.
because my brain's automatically going to stop me from doing something that's um, not comfortable.
Harmful.
But
Yeah.
yeah, you have to then shut your brain and say, no, 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 I'm gonna do it anyways. So I think, yeah, of course, it's all in the mind.
Right. And like I've seen one of your posts in which if I remember correctly, you had picture with your father. So do you also have a fitness like fitness genes? Does it come from your family as well? And what's that story? Because I think it's
Yeah,
very new that, and especially in an Indian context, that fitness has been accepted and done by females for a lot of years. It was all about males. It was a male
yeah,
thing to do.
yeah.
Tell us more about that. How was there a phase where you overcome fear, or there was something about it?
Um, See, my father was a bodybuilder back in the 70s, but yeah, he never wanted me or my brother to follow that path, because that's what all Indian parents do. They want to protect us. Even though they were rebels, they want to protect us. But fortunately, I'm born and brought up in a family where uh, I never had to take permission about what I want to do. It's pretty obvious that if there's something I want to do, there's no one who's going to stop me. My parents are kind enough to let me make mistakes and let me learn from them.
Mhm.
So I've never had a resistance from my parents to whatever I do. But also, that the thing is that people think, oh, they're already fit people. My dad has been obese, I have been obese, my brother has been obese. So it's not like we've all had our struggles with our bodies. So it's not like we were fit to begin with. But yeah, I mean, I think I've always looked up to my dad, because when he was in the army and he was fit, he used to be like really fit. So I think that
Okay.
does set up a bar. Subconsciously there is a standard already set. Now, over years, whether what happened to our lifestyles, or how we corrected, or how we came back, that's another story. But yeah, I think initially I've like, because I've always grown up to seeing bodybuilding pictures of my dad, so I think subconsciously I might have picked up.
Interesting. Very interesting. But so you just said about our eating habits. I would like to know what do you think is going wrong with us right now with our eating habits? I have always heard my parents say that in our times we used to do this, in our times we used to do that. What are your opinions about? Are we going wrong somewhere? I know the vegan and the non-vegetarian stuff, but even in vegan or the way food is produced and supplied, do you think we are going wrong somewhere? And do we need to correct something on this?
We're going wrong in a lot of places. Firstly, I remember growing up, we did not have as much processed food as we have right now. You could like hand pick processed products that you would pick up from a supermarket. I remember when we were very young and we used to go to our nanny's house in a bus or a train, my mom used to pack fruits for a snack because
Mm,
there were no chips around. So, and then I remember Uncle Chips was launched and, suddenly there were chips.
mm,
But in a year, in a one calendar year, possibly after my exams, I used to get one Coke and a packet of chips in a year.
mm.
That's what we grew up as,
Yeah.
right? And that's like, mark that day in history, you're going to have chips. And
Right.
now I see kids having it every meal, every day. We are doing the same mistake. I mean, whenever we go out, inevitably you are drinking something or, uh, having processed food left, right, and center. So I think, yeah, we did not have that much processed food any which ways. And now, because we are adopting to a lifestyle which is faster, people don't want to spend time on cooking. A lot of women don't cook anymore.
Mm.
Uh, so I think it affects your overall health.
So processed food basically. If I
Yeah,
use a
yeah.
keyword, it's processed food. I missed to show your name, so I'm doing it now.
Okay.
Like yeah, on the ticker. Let me show one more aspect of your personality. I'll be bringing more aspect because I was amazed to see what all you are doing. This is one more aspect of your personality. I'm showing the pictures.
Oh,
So and there are more as well. For example, this as well. What is
yeah.
because I see quirky fashion in it. If I have to see it's quirky fashion. Tell us more about this. Like how does this fit into your professional and personal life?
So basically, I love wearing and collecting saris, and
Okay.
I am looking for an opportunity to wear it and sport it differently. So
Hmm.
yeah, sometimes I do these fun shoots like um, wearing a sari or wearing a sari differently. So yeah, it's just again I feel a lot of women don't do that anymore, and to me, sari is like the ultimate garment. So yeah, it's my way of bringing Desi back. Um,
Okay.
yeah, that's why you'd see me in a lot of those funky sari pictures because basically I just love the garment and I want to sport it.
But this
Doesn't
is
it look
so
like Superman?
yeah
It looks like Superman.
the first one for sure. I think if I use Photoshop and do a 90-degree tilt, it will really look like a Superman.
Yeah, I know.
Cool. Um, and I have one more picture which I want you to talk about. What does this picture show? Here.
Okay, so this is picture taken at our clinic. We do fat freezing and we do non-surgical body shaping at our clinics. This is one of the procedures this is one of the procedures going on. So yeah,
Oh, so this is one of the services which
Nibson
your
offers. Yes, yes.
oh wow. I was okay. This was something new for me as well because I thought it was a fitness center, but this is other
No,
aspects
it's
of it
actually a
as well.
clinic. So we just do consulting and we do body shaping. We
Hmm.
don't have a studio where we train people, so
Oh,
to speak.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So now, because I have talked about different aspects of your personality, this picture actually shows that your YouTube channel has also these are the stuffs you are talking about on your YouTube channel. Now, for my clients, I have this is one of the most popular questions which I receive from my clients, which are trying to focus on content marketing or marketing of their own services and products. That they do so many stuffs, and sometimes they think that it's all getting mixed up. But
Mm-hmm.
in your YouTube channel, I see that you have talked about many things, but still it's very clean. So how do you do this mental mapping, or is it just mental mapping, or there is a tool which you use, or you talk to, or you brainstorm on it? How do you make things clear so that your audience don't get confused what you are?
Mm. When we do decide on what content is going to go up on YouTube within the team, we
Mhm,
do figure out, certain things which will go up, and we try to keep a balance with like everything.
mhm,
But still, I think it's highly likely anyone would get confused. But I can't help it uh,
mhm,
because there are that many aspects to the services that we give,
mhm,
and to the stuff that's dear to me.
mhm,
And because I'm a nutritionist, so I'm going to talk about nutrition. That means we will do recipes.
mhm,
Um, uh, we do weight loss primarily, whether it's the clinic or whether it's an online program.
mhm,
I can't talk about weight loss and not talk about the other lifestyle disorders that either come with it or because of which weight is an issue. So I have to talk about stuff like thyroid, PCOS, la la la.
mhm,
Um, I am strongly feel about veganism, so whatever content I do want to make videos which are vegan and all that. I am a trainer at the end of the day, and I
mhm,
train both strength and yoga. So, you know, it's not like these are all part of me. So, even if I want to, I can't.
mhm. So,
Yeah, but we
but
do try to keep everything balanced when we are planning it out.
but do you have other social channels as well, or this is what is the only channel which you have?
Um, no, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I
So,
mean, I am active on other social media and I don't even remember it. So,
so this is what these are the channels for your professional
yeah,
what you do right now.
yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay, cool. I would like to know, when was the time when you actually thought that your social media is picking up? Like we all have social medias, and you put pictures, and some people like it, and some people share it. But what was the time when you felt like, no, you have to take your social channel seriously? People are really following you, and you have to be conscious about it. What was that time, and how did it happen?
I think when somebody offered to pay money for
Yeah.
a product review, I think that's the first time it hit me that, okay, I can get paid from this. That means it's really serious.
Uh-huh.
Possibly that was the time when, yeah, I would have, it would have really hit me that, okay, somebody's watching.
Mm-hmm. But didn't you see a rise on for example, likes or followers? Was there an incident which you remember, and you
Yeah.
think that, oh, after this there has something happened, like people have just it has spiked?
I don't think. I mean, I've been active on this channel for about 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
so I really don't remember when was the time when the likes and comments got to a level where that point probably I don't remember. But yeah, of course, when I got my first paid promotion. That is when I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I can really ask for money for doing
Mm-hmm.
anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that thing probably is something that,
Yeah,
and
I think
I
it.
didn't know that.
Mhm.
Before that time, also there were other people who were charging for it, and I was like, "Oh, can I charge
Mhm.
people?"
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think this is one of the and in current times, this is one of the influencer marketing is one of the most
yeah,
important marketing activities which people do. Gone are the days of SEO and other usual marketing stuffs. And because it's a very important aspect, I would like to talk a little more on this, so that our audience would know that what they can expect, and how to walk on it safely. So when people are approaching you, for example, for product reviews, what are the maybe 3 or 4 points which you make sure you have to do to make it uh, uh, to make it work, or to make it work nicely? What are your 4 or 5 points about that?
Firstly, I'm very picky about what products I can and what I can't do. Strictly, I don't do supplements. I would not do a supplement review which says bodybuilding and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do anything which is nutraceuticals, mostly pharma related stuff. Won't do. Fitness already signed up with the brand, so I can't work with anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I would only pick up a product for review if I feel for it genuinely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, it's not like whatever's thrown on my face, I'll just pick it up. I would have done that mistake in the past,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I possibly when I started off, I did not know how to
Yeah.
scan through, and I did not know how to say no. I did not know how to ask for a price.
Yeah.
But I think over years I've learned that, and I'm very clear in my head that this is. I'm not like an influencer. Influencer. This is not the only source of income that is for me.
Right. Right.
So I don't think I have that pressure of saying yes to everything that comes my way. I'm picky about things, and I think that's the way it should be. Because I'm not looking at something which is there now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
for me, if something pops up 5 years, 10 years from now,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so yeah, I have to
Yeah.
like think about repercussions of what I do as well.
True. In fact, you have brought in a very important aspect that you also have a service. So your social channel are not directly related, or you're not. You're. It's the objective is not to make use of your influencer score, but you already have a service. So
Yeah,
that makes it a little difference with different in comparison to other vloggers or bloggers, because
yeah,
they make content to reach a day where people can approach them for reviews.
yeah. I
Uh,
think when this is pretty much like modeling,
mhm,
you don't know how long you're going to be there. You don't know how long your content would be appreciated. People get bored very quickly. So
mhm,
I don't generally think that this should be the primary aim of
mhm,
anyone. I see a
mhm.
lot of people thinking, like talking, like I'll just leave my 9 to 5 job and I'm going to be a whole time influencer or a blogger. I don't think it's very wise because you don't know the age and life of all these platforms.
Yeah.
It's there, and then it's not there. Suddenly, what? If there's
Yeah.
no Instagram tomorrow, suddenly what? I'm not a model anymore.
Mhm.
So that's a question you should ask because at the end of the day, it took you 5 years to rise that much on a platform. I don't know how quickly you'll fall. So yeah.
Mm.
Just by posing and just by doing a product review, I don't think one should consider that as something that's going to last lifelong.
So you mean there should be something real world as well, and things cannot be just in air on cloud. There should
Yeah.
be real world things as well.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Mm, what do you think uh, was the worst or the worst decision of your marketing activity? Like, did you ever have that feeling that no, I invested too much in this kind of marketing, I should not have done this? Maybe you hired a person, not hired, but maybe you came in collaboration with someone and you thought, no, this was not a great idea, I invested too much time and money in it.
I don't think I would say that. I am anyway somebody who doesn't believe in regrets. So, I mean, either it was a good decision or it was a bad decision.
mm, I think I can't hear you, Nidhi. Hello, let me uh, I think we have lost Nidhi for a few minutes. Let me check if her connection is working. Nidhi, are you able to hear me? I am not able to hear you. Let me try to reconnect. Hi, Nidhi.
I think I lost you for a second.
Yeah, and we are back. We are back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were talking about the regrets.
There aren't many, so
So you don't regret any bad decisions. So basically, even if there were bad decisions, you take out the positives from it.
yeah, I mean, I learned from it, and that's it. Like that changed my path. There's nothing like a bad decision. There's nothing like a bad client. There's
Mhm,
nothing like a difficult client. Whoever is
mhm.
difficult actually improves your service tag a little bit. So I think we're good.
But tell us an example where I would not call it was a difficult client, but few examples in which the client actually made you realize that maybe you have to change, or you can improve on some services? Tell us
Okay,
some
so
examples.
there's a online program that curtails to email access to me, and I give them a workout schedule. There are a lot of exercise. So the problem with workouts is that I can call it something and you can call it something else. So there are
Mhm.
so many things one can understand, and
Mhm.
mostly it's not a problem because when I say you have to do weighted squats, then the other person understand that okay, this is I need to put weight and then do it. But
Mhm.
then I have had clients who've been like, do I do barbell? Do I do dumbbells? How do you do barbell? How do you do dumbbells? So those difficult ones, and they would keep asking me that question, keep calling. So what I usually do is I would record my own video and send it to them individually. But yeah,
Very
over a
smart.
period of yeah,
That's
no, but
very
it was
smart.
it was very hard
Mm.
because you're dealing with so many people, then you're ending up spending so much time individually answering everyone. So yeah,
Mhm.
this was something that client, because of her being difficult, inspired me to change the whole structure of how I did my online programs. So now the online program has a link to a video library which has the workout. So if I'm sending you that this is what you have to do, it comes with a link which tells you how to do it.
And that video library is your YouTube channel, or there is a separate video library?
That's a separate video library. That's private only for clients who
All
get
right.
access to
I
that.
was about to ask you. So you have a private, special subscriptions as well, which are only for your
Yes,
clients and not for your
yes,
public view.
yeah.
Mm.
Which
This
has
is
my secret workouts.
yeah, very true.
Yeah,
This all We also suggest this to our clients, that always have a secret, not secret, but of course, your customers are your customers and your viewers are your
yeah,
viewers.
yeah.
Many of our clients also feel, now this is also one of the very common questions. They feel that if I'm going to tell everything about what I do on YouTube, then who is going to come to me? So
Hmm.
have you thought of it, or have you heard about it? And if you have, then how did you overcome this thing? That
Um,
if you tell something, if you tell everything on YouTube, then who will come to you?
the thing is, firstly, you can't tell everything on YouTube in a 6-minute video. If I have to talk about a topic, I will only be touching the topic and going away.
Hmm.
Secondly, in my case, I know that if I have to help a client, this is going to be highly individualistic.
Hmm.
We have to go through their eating patterns, their medical history, their lifestyle, so that nothing I can say or do on YouTube which is going to be one size fit all. It might work for someone, but by and large, it will not. It can only create a curiosity in someone,
Hmm.
and if they approach us, then our approach has to be a one-on-one thing.
Hmm.
I don't know how it will work for any others. I think it work for any service on the face of planet Earth the same way. You can't.
Hmm.
Um, you can actually teach somebody to cook a particular dish, um, but at the end of the day, if they have to learn how to do styling or learn the form of cooking, they will still have to go and do a workshop. So yeah, it will work for smaller skills, but it cannot work. It's not. It can't work for a very specific problem solving.
Right. That's very true. Again, what I tell my clients to do is treat their social media as an academy. So try not to directly sell on social media, but take it as an academy. And of course, um, not everything can be taught on YouTube, or not everything
Yeah,
can be taught on blogs, because there's, and especially in your segment, which is a change of body and habits, it will come when you walk
yes,
through the path.
yeah.
That's very true. Nidhi, what do you think your suggestion would be for our our newbies who are getting into this career, or maybe leaving their job and trying to make a career on their own? What is your suggestion for budding entrepreneurs, or at least people who are thinking that they have the power of internet and social media? Uh,
Yeah.
what do you have to say about it, or
Um,
suggest?
Most of the times when people want to leave their jobs, they want to do it because they think putting in too much effort, and I want to be my own boss and all that jazz. Honestly, I think if you can't be a good employee, then you can
Hmm.
never be a good employer.
Hmm.
Uh, being an entrepreneur and being on your own is far harder than doing a job where at the end of the month you know that this much is going to come in my pocket.
Hmm.
uh, because first couple of years is always hard, and first 3 years is what most people quit also, because
First
I
3 years.
don't think any business makes money in the first 3 years. You just have to put in. So if you're thinking of quitting a job and starting something of your own, be it anything, even if be it a blog, there's a lot of investment that's going to happen initially. It's not easy. If you're doing it because you think that's easy money, don't quit your job, because job is far easier than quitting everything and being on your own, because then you have to pay your bills, and you're not just responsible for yourself, but you're responsible for people working under you. So if you make a bad decision, it's not just your month affected. Somebody else has to pay their rents. Somebody else has to eat. Possibly they
Right.
have kids too. Sometimes when I now I've been doing it for 9 years, but on Women's Day I visited every employee, and we are mostly a female organization. We just have three or four males, but largely we're like all females. So I was just visiting all my employees, and they have kids and they have families, and suddenly it hit me that my decisions affects this family. So, it's a lot of responsibility. So if you're somebody who wants to chill in life and take it easy and enjoy, don't do it,
Yeah.
because that's not what that's never going to work out.
I think the most jazzy thing about quitting your job and getting into entrepreneurship is those pictures which shows you having your laptop in front of the beach and just
Yeah,
clicking few buttons and you're making money
yeah.
and money is floating in your bank
It
account.
it's it seems like it is going to be that. Like, I, as an influencer, travel a lot, and
Mhm.
we do Lux travel reviews as well. So we get to travel to the best places and all. But in all honesty, when I am on a business travel where I'm reviewing something, or when I'm doing something else, I don't think we experience it the way someone else would experience it. It's not chill. It's not chill. There's no chill happening, because you're already worried about, oh, what am I going to write? What am I going to? I need pictures. I need content. I need to take that video. I need to take that shot. So you're
Mhm.
literally like working.
Mhm.
It's like the life of some filmmaker, but just
Mhm.
that you don't have crew. So you're the cameraman, you're the director, you're the editor. Everything's you. But so yeah, I think it just sounds fancy.
Mhm.
It's pretty exhausting.
So in your mind, it's still professional, and of course, that
Yeah.
that would be a professional trip, but in your mind, it's going a lot more than what people see in your pictures.
Yeah, yeah. Pictures is like, if you see the behind the scenes, you'll be like, okay, this is not fun.
Mm.
But yeah,
But this is why we have this kind of influencer speaks, because we get to know the real influencer, and the real influencer is also a human being, and uh, everyone overcomes their own fears and own boredom and all, and that's what our audience love about influencer speaks, when they get to see the other side of the story which they see on Instagram. This is how we see, for example, Shah Rukh Khan in a movie, and maybe if we meet Shah Rukh Khan on road, and it's a completely different picture.
I'm sure.
But good that you're bringing these stuffs uh, forward to our audience. That's good to know. Mm, so, do you have any future wacky ideas which you are working on right now, or this is what you are going to do for few more years, or like your short-term goals or something?
Um, Nothing as such. Firstly, I'm taking a month break because I think it's needed much.
Okay.
Because when you work with brands and you work with so many, you have to do this, you have to do this. I think it's very exhausting,
Mm-hmm.
and last 1 month hasn't been good for me health wise.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking a break from work, which
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea whether how I'll do it, but I'm not traveling for a month, and taking a break completely from, not from social media. I think I'll still be posting, but
Mm-hmm.
at least no TV shows, no traveling, no shoots. just confine myself to a space and just spend time with myself. That's the
Correct.
idea. I think after the break, I will have better clarity on what what new I want to create.
So we were lucky to get your time at least before you take your 1 month break. We were really lucky.
Yeah, I
I,
don't know about that, but
so I just see time, and yeah, we it's already 45 minutes, and let's this is the time when we go to our viewers questions, and I see that there are some questions which our viewers want to ask you. Let
Mhm.
me show them on the screen as well. So this is one question from Anushree, and she's asking, which form of fitness would you recommend for a dancer who needs flexibility and strength? Yoga, Pilates, basic gymming, or CrossFit training, or there can be anything else as well. So for a dancer who
Um,
needs flexibility and strength.
uh, I think gymming will stiffen you a lot. If you could do a form of yoga that involves a little bit of strength, I think that's perfect. So if you could try yoga where you're holding postures for longer times, I think that's better for you. Uh, I I'm not sure if just gymming is going to improve your strength, but for flexibility, you would need something. CrossFit, I have my love hate relationship with CrossFit, but I generally don't recommend CrossFit to anyone if you're a beginner.
Mhm.
So, yeah, because there's something called as a law of individual differences, which CrossFit doesn't factor. So yeah,
Law of.
individual differences. So every individual has different muscle insertion, muscle lengths.
Mhm.
But CrossFit kind of gives you that pattern where all of you all have to do the same motion, and
Mhm.
that may or may not work for everyone. So CrossFitters do get most injuries, so that's why it's
Oh.
not my favorite form to begin with. At least when you're strong enough, if you've been working out, doing any form, whether it's yoga, whether it's gymming, if you're doing it for a while, then switch to CrossFit, but not initially.
Mm. Okay, I think that answers Anushri's question. We have one more question. Uh, I'm showing it on the screen, and Arkia is asking, what would be your suggestion to a person facing generic obesity, desperate to lose excess fat?
He's saying that if yeah, I'm not sure how you know that your obesity is genetic, because the percentage of that is very low. And even if you have genetic obesity, we can work around your metabolism, but we need a lot of details in terms of your lifestyle to help
Mhm.
you with that. It's not impossible. It could be a little harder, but it's not impossible. But yeah, even if it you if you, even if you're born with bad genes, uh, you can lose weight. That's not. It's not. I won't say it's not rocket science. It actually is,
Mhm.
but it's not impossible. With the right guidance, it should not be a problem.
Mhm.
But yeah, and anyways, science has proved that genetics is only going to affect you as much.
Mhm.
If you choose to be healthy and you change your lifestyle completely, um, I don't think over a period of time losing weight should be a problem.
But are there any ways where you can measure or you can know whether you are
These
genetically
days, you
obese or
can
no?
you only if you can get a DNA analysis done. That's how you know. If he's so sure about it, maybe he's got a DNA analysis done. I'm not sure if he's online and he can answer that, but yeah,
Mhm.
only if your DNA mapping shows that you have genetic obesity. That's thing. Or if you're assuming everyone in the family is obese,
Mm.
that could be a complete lifestyle thing. Because
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but Punjabis have this. So it's
Mhm.
like we have to be bigger. You
Mm.
don't have to be bigger. It's all because we eat the same food throughout the family.
Mm.
So yeah, I think it's not like completely a genetic thing. It's a lifestyle as well, and the lifestyle of the whole family generally is the same. So firstly, you need to figure out whether you have genetic obesity or not. But any which way, lifestyle correction is what we're looking at.
Right. I think a lot of times our lifestyle, um and it may not be just food habits, but there are a lot of cultural habits as well, which we easily
Yes.
misunderstand with our genes. One example I have is I'm mostly I thought I was mostly bad at remembering names, and I thought, oh, it was running in my genes, until I
Mm-hmm.
saw some YouTube videos, and then they told about the tricks where you can easily remember names, and it
Yeah.
has worked for me, and I'm so
Wow.
confident now. And the similar thing happened with me with dancing. I always used to think that I cannot dance. I have no dancing genes, and it's so easy to put blame on your genes that, oh, my
Yeah.
parents didn't do that, so I'm not capable of doing that. But when you learn things, you it can surprise you, and that's when I guess you need a good coach to tell you that there lies a life beyond your boundaries.
Yeah.
Cool. um, so I see that yeah, our audience are done with their questions, and I think I'm also done with my questions. It has been a great 1 hour with you, Nidhi, and I can't
Thank
believe
you.
it has been 1 hour now.
Wow. I know.
So I'm glad that you are here, and I learned a lot from you, Nidhi. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
being here.
much.
Yeah.
Thank
Uh-huh.
you so much for having me.
Yeah. Thank you, Nidhi. And have a nice evening.
You
And
too.
a little more time for me. It's still 4:30 for me. So maybe I'll
Oh,
go out and do some yoga,
acro
especially
yoga.
today.
Yeah. Yeah. International Yoga Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nidhi. Thank
Same.
you.
Same.